I'm Brian Van.
I'm Eddie Kraft.
And today we're going to show you the things Eddie did to get his motorcycle ready for racing and for track riding, period.
Yep, done both.
I mean, this is a fully prepped super sport race bike.
Yep, Weira, CCS.
AMA.
Yep, can do it all.
But at track days, we see a lot of guys with bikes that are prepared to this level.
Sure, yeah. Even more so in some instances, with this being a super sport bike, there's certain modifications you can't do, which is nice as a racer because you can save some money, but when you're doing track days, you can get some added performance by putting some parts on. So we'll show what you can do, and then we'll show what this has as well.
Plus, it's fun to build a cool bike. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah, very cool.
It's fun to put trick bits on it, to lighten the motorcycle up, to make it perform better, and really make the thing your own.
Yeah,
it's a huge part of the hobby. And I know at the track days, I mean, I've seen some serious hardware at the track days come out. Some unbelievable stuff. You know, guys have really poured heart and soul, thousands of dollars into kind of assembling their dream bike.
Yeah, a lot of guys want to duplicate, the super bikes that you see Josh Hayes, Matt Milan on, that type of thing, and get as close to as possible. So yeah.
And it is definitely a huge part of the hobby. So what we're going to do with Eddie's bike, this started off as just a street stock 2010 R6.
Yep, we picked it up from the dealer, put it on the dyno right away. It hasn't been on the street really at all. And to start taking the street stuff off and getting race parts on it and getting it ready for the track.
One of the first modifications you have to make is bodywork. If you're going to have a race bike or you're going to have a dedicated track bike, one of the first things you do is you take all your street bodywork off. Typically you sell it so you can try and recoup some money. Bucks.
Yeah, a lot of guys crash on the streets and they want to get that back.
Exactly. And then you need to get race fairings. On Eddie's bike, you use
shark skins.
Right? On my bikes, I use armor bodies. So just to give you an idea of what this is what an upper fairing looks like as compared to a street fairing. One piece upper. It's all fiberglass, got some Kevlar reinforcement in it. The brands that we promote here, obviously armor bodies, shark skins, and we do hot bodies as well. All three good products provide great value at their given price points, no doubt about it. So bodywork is a key element.
Yeah, I mean, you want something that holds up to crashing because you're on the track, it's going to happen eventually, and you want something that fits up nice, and shark skins and armor bodies both fit that bill really well.
And hot bodies has made dramatic improvements over the years. Good fitment now. Let's move on to the controls. For me, that's huge. I need my controls lined up perfectly. I like my grips just right. So my steering damper dial needs to be pointing in the right direction when I go out on the race.
You're not very picky, so it shows it makes a big difference.
And I'm not very picky. What kind of clip-ons did you choose on this one?
We've got the Apex Manufacturing clip-ons. These fit really well. They're actually, they were used at a lot of AMA bikes, and they've got a ton of adjustability. You can't really see here, but there's pins inside of this clamp that allow you different angles for your clip-on to be at. That may be a lot for some, but it gives you a ton of adjustability. We kind of have them set with what's comfortable for me, and it works. So every time, we've got a spare set too that we know right exactly where they go.
I usually mark my triple trees.
Yep.
I put a couple of dots so I know that I've got them at the right angle. Once I find the spot that I want, the sweet spot, I like to mark it like with a center punch or something, so I know if anything's moved or if I need to service it, I can get it right back to where it started for me.
Right.
Steering damper's key.
Yep. These are mandatory with any type of racing you're going to do. You need to have a steering damper. Pitbull, we've used them since probably 2003 or 4. They've made a lot of modifications over the years, and this bracketry is actually new. You can see in the frame here, they used to have it where you would drill through the frame and it would hold there. We didn't really have problems with that, but you could strip the frame. So they came up with a single version that doesn't require any drilling. It goes on the side of the fairing stay here, and it works just as nice. And it's even nicer now, in my opinion, because it's black anodized, which just matches every common bike for the most part.
The point behind a steering damper is really quite simple. Think of it as the tighter you make it, it adds tension as you try and turn the wheel, okay? If you don't have that there, when you're on the gas, the front end gets light. Even if it's not off the ground, it gets really light. You go over some imperfections in the road, on the track, and next thing you know, that thing can just start swapping side to side.
Yeah, it can be very, very sketchy. And at the track, 60, 80 miles an hour is common. And this is a needed item.
Absolutely have to. It's a safety item.
Yep.
No doubt about it. For levers on this motorcycle, Eddie's got some stuff from GP Tech. These are our fold-up breakaway levers.
Yep.
In case you have a fall.
They have a notch in them at the very tip here that is to break away in a crash, so that if you were to get up, you could still go and finish the race or keep riding. They also break away up like this, depending on how you fall. It'll just push the lever up like this. You can get up, push it back down, and you're good to go. They also have, on the brake lever here, a remote adjuster. And this is a little bit fancier, and you may not even need it. The R6 has really good brakes, but if you're doing a Wera race, a 20-lap solo, or if you're at a track day and you've got a 30-minute session, you may find with some bikes that the brake fade is noticeable after a number of laps. So as that's happening, while you're on the track, you don't have to stop. You can just dial this in or out and bring the lever either closer to you or farther from you, depending on what you're comfortable with.
Quick turn throttle. For me, that's huge. The stock throttles, the throw is just way too long, in my opinion.
Yeah, you almost have too much feel there, and you almost want to shorten it up so you don't have to grab another handful of throttle when you're trying to really get on the gas.
Couple of great brands. This is the Active available here as well. It's a nice one. We have one, a Yo-Yodyne racing throttle, and we also have one from Motion Pro. All three are very nice pieces. They come with cables. They fit well. They adjust multi-cams that you can choose from to dial in the throttle for your preference. Electronics, okay, and here's something it's not new, but it's relatively new. Batteries. Full spectrum. This would be actually more of a lightweight UASA.
Stock battery, yeah.
It's a little lighter than a stock battery. This weighs almost 7 pounds. This is one from Full Spectrum that we offer here. We use these in all of our race bikes. It's a superior battery to lead acid, no doubt about it. And this right here weighed 1.05 pounds versus about 7. This is the cheapest, most effective way to reduce weight from your motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, at the racing level, people are always trying to cut weight, and you're restricted on how you can cut weight based on the rules. So, I mean, some guys will spend money on titanium bolts. The battery is the most cost-effective way
to lose a lot of weight. Up top.
Yep.
Fast.
And the performance is actually better than the standard battery.
No maintenance.
No. You just have to. The only potential issue is when it's cold out. It may take a little longer, but you can disconnect it, bring it inside. You can see here on my bike, we've got a quick disconnect setup, which Full Spectrum offers as well. They have some that work with a standard battery connectors, so if you don't want to mess around with it, you just hook it up as normal, or you can kind of make this work and just quick disconnect whenever you need to.
DynoJet. Eddie's got the Power Commander 5 and the auto tune on this bike, as well as the quick shifter. If you want to go down, Eric, and have a look, you can see the quick shifter here. These are key components to get a motorcycle tuned and to get a good map in it. And it's so important that the throttle response is just right. When you're turning that thing on, you're leaned way over. It's very predictable.
Yep.
You get maximum power. And of course, the quick shifter, I don't think I could ride without it.
No, the quick shifter, you don't realize how nice it is until you start using it. Once you go, I don't need the quick shifter, and then you use it a few times, and then you go on a bike that doesn't have one, and you have to blip the throttle off a little bit to shift, and you just kind of realize, hey, this is taking me longer than normal. The quick shifter, you basically just keep it full throttle, and you just click like you normally would through the gears, and the suspension doesn't move. It just stays, in harmony with your throttle position, essentially, and it works really well. The Power Commander is, another one of those must-have items based on if you get an exhaust system. If you get an exhaust system for your bike, you are changing the air-fuel ratio, and you need to compensate for that with fuel. So DynoJet offers a number of maps that you can use with your bike that you can just pop in there, and you're pretty close. If you have access to a dyno, that's even better. You can make a custom map, but you don't need to. The auto-tune kind of circumvents the need for a dyno. You can plug that in pretty easily. There's an O2 sensor that goes into the exhaust, and you just hook up your laptop. It'll sample while you're out on the track for any given conditions. You can accept the changes, and it will adjust on the fly. So if you're out and
all on its own. It's just like the car with an O2 sensor.
Right.
Constantly.
Yep. All you have to do, it has a safety feature where it doesn't do it on the fly. So you would come in, you would set it to, okay, let's scan the air fuel, and come back in, hook up the laptop, accept the values, and go back out, and you're set. You could do that every time you go out if you're really picky. I've just done it a couple times just to make sure it's in the right range, and leave it at that.
Stomp grip on the tank. Makes a huge difference because realistically with the motorcycle, you want to try and keep all the weight you can off of your hands.
Yes.
I would say the very best riders probably have no weight on their hands
Yeah.
most of the time. The very best are out there. They're so relaxed in their hands, it's ridiculous. But any inputs to the motorcycle, when it doesn't want one, is horrible. It upsets the chassis. You can fall down if you're leaned way over and you put just a little pressure on the handlebar when it didn't want it. Next thing you know, you lose the front end and you're sliding across the pavement.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have both been riding for a while. We'll come in, after being on the track, and we'll be like, man, our hands are sore or something. And it's so easy to get in the habit of being too tight on the bars. It puts feedback into the motorcycle.
And this helps. This helps to reduce that. Another thing that can really help with that is going to be rear sets in the position of the foot pegs, because that kind of works in conjunction with the stomp grip and your body position on the bike. It's all about the lower body.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's all
Legs drive
about the
everything.
lower body.
Yep.
The rear sets that Eddie's chosen to use on here, and I have these on both of my bikes as well, this is really high-end. I mean, it's really hard to beat this. This is Graves. Phenomenal. Certainly not the most inexpensive parts out there, but I would say all the rear sets I've ridden on, they're probably the best ones.
They are. They're not cheap, and Graves focuses a lot on the Yamaha, but they make them for all models of bikes.